Hey beautiful Pisces, welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into this reading, I need you to take a deep breath with me because what I am about to share with you today is going to completely shift your understanding of everything you have been experiencing lately. You know those people who have been working against you energetically, the ones who have been sending negativity your way, trying to dim your light, trying to block the beautiful blessings that the universe has been preparing for you? Well, Spirit has something absolutely extraordinary to reveal to us today, and I promise you, by the end of this reading, you are going to see why you have been feeling this strange sense of relief washing over you. This feeling that somehow the energetic weight you have been carrying is finally starting to lift. What I am picking up for you right now is not just a simple karmic return situation. This is something far more intricate and divinely orchestrated than that. The very people who decided to wage this spiritual battle against you, the ones who thought they could diminish your power and steal your peace, are now caught in something they never saw coming. They are turning on each other, Pisces. They are literally destroying one another from the inside out, and you did not have to do a single thing to make this happen. The universe has stepped in with such precision and perfect timing, and what is unfolding right now is a masterclass in divine justice that we are going to explore together in depth today. Your intuition has been telling you something has shifted, that something fundamental has changed in the energy around you, and today we are going to confirm exactly what your sensitive Piscean soul has been picking up on. This is your moment of vindication, your moment of liberation, and most importantly, your moment of understanding just how protected and loved you truly are by the universe. The first card that appeared in your reading is the Ten of Swords, and I want to spend some real time here because this card is showing me the complete and total devastation that these people are experiencing right now. The Ten of Swords is one of the most final cards in the entire tarot deck. It represents absolute endings, the kind where there's no coming back from what's happened, where everything you built comes crashing down all at once, where you're left lying face down with 10 swords in your back, wondering how it all went so wrong. Now, when this card shows up in relation to people who have been attacking you, it's not showing your defeat, it's showing theirs. And the imagery is really important here because in the traditional depiction, the figure with the swords in their back is often shown at dawn, meaning that even in total defeat, there's the potential for a new beginning. But that new beginning can only come after you face the full weight of what you've done and completely transform. These people are in that face-down moment right now, and what's particularly significant is that the swords in their backs aren't coming from you. They're coming from each other. The spiritual war they started against you has turned them into enemies among themselves. They're betraying each other, backstabbing each other, exposing each other's secrets, fighting over blame and responsibility, and it's absolutely tearing their circle apart. I'm seeing a group of people who thought they were united in their mission to bring you down. Maybe they talked about you constantly, fed off each other's negativity, validated each other's jealousy and resentment. Perhaps they even coordinated their attacks, whether through gossip, social manipulation, or actual spiritual practices if they're into that realm. But what they didn't understand is that when you unite with others based on darkness, based on tearing someone else down rather than building yourselves up, that foundation is inherently unstable and will eventually collapse. The Ten of Swords is showing me that collapse happening in the most brutal way possible. Friendships that they thought were solid are revealing themselves to be purely opportunistic. People they trusted are turning out to be just as willing to betray them as they were willing to betray you, and the pain they're experiencing from these betrayals is actually worse than anything they tried to inflict on you, because they genuinely didn't see it coming from their own camp. What I'm also picking up with the Ten of Swords is that these people are dealing with a complete mental and emotional breakdown related to all of this. The tens in tarot represent completion and culmination. So this is the culmination of all the negative energy they've been putting out, finally reaching its peak and crashing back down on them. Some of them are experiencing anxiety and paranoia because they're starting to realize that the universe is involved, that this isn't just normal drama or bad luck, that there's something bigger orchestrating their downfall, and that realization is terrifying because it means they can't manipulate or scheme their way out of it. I'm seeing sleepless nights, obsessive thoughts, the inability to focus on anything else because their lives are falling apart in multiple areas simultaneously, and they're desperately trying to figure out how to stop it. The Ten of Swords also represents that moment of brutal honesty where you can no longer deny reality, where all your delusions and justifications crumble, and you have to face the truth of who you've been and what you've done. Some of these people are starting to have those moments of clarity where they realize they brought this on themselves, that their obsession with you and their attempts to harm you were completely unjustified and driven by their own insecurities and darkness. But even that realization doesn't stop the consequences from continuing to unfold. The karma is in motion, and it's going to complete its cycle regardless of whether they acknowledge their wrongdoing or not. What's interesting is that this card also speaks to public exposure and humiliation. The Ten of Swords often happens in full view of others, and I'm seeing that their downfall is not happening quietly or privately. Other people are witnessing it, people are talking about it, their reputation is being damaged in ways that will be very difficult to repair, and that public aspect is adding another layer of pain to what they're experiencing. Now let's move into Temperance, and this card is absolutely crucial to understanding the mechanism behind what's happening to these people. Temperance is card 14 in the major arcana, and it represents divine balance, cosmic harmony, the universe's natural tendency to restore equilibrium when it's been disrupted. The figure in Temperance is an angel with one foot on land and one foot in water, pouring liquid between two cups, symbolizing the perfect blending and balancing of different elements, the moderation of extremes, the restoration of what should be. When someone sends out massive amounts of negative energy, like these people did toward you, they create an imbalance in the cosmic order. They're essentially stealing energy that doesn't belong to them, trying to diminish someone else's light to make themselves feel bigger, and the universe cannot allow that imbalance to continue indefinitely. Temperance shows up to say that the scales are being rebalanced now. Every single ounce of harmful energy they directed at you is being measured precisely and returned to them in exact proportion, not by you taking revenge, not by you doing anything at all, but by cosmic law itself, automatically correcting the imbalance they created. What's really profound about Temperance in this position is that it's showing me this rebalancing is happening slowly and methodically. It's not a quick strike of lightning karma. It's a sustained process that keeps building and building, wave after wave of consequences washing over them, each one perfectly calibrated to address a specific aspect of what they did wrong. The patience of Temperance is actually more devastating than quick retribution, because it means there's no moment of relief, no ability to catch their breath and recover, just this constant pressure of things continuing to go wrong in their lives, problems stacking up faster than they can address them, and the exhausting experience of waiting for the other shoe to drop because they can feel on some level that more is coming. I'm seeing that some of these people are trying to do spiritual cleansing or protection work now, burning sage, doing rituals, visiting psychics or healers, trying to figure out how to break whatever they perceive as a curse on them. But what they don't understand is that Temperance isn't a curse, it's not an attack, it's simply the universe restoring balance. And you cannot protect yourself from cosmic justice. You can only learn from it and change your ways. The card is also showing me that this balancing process is teaching them on a soul level. Even if their conscious mind doesn't want to accept it, their higher self is absorbing these lessons about the consequences of operating from jealousy, malice, and the attempt to harm others. Temperance is infinitely patient and will continue this rebalancing process for as long as it takes for true equilibrium to be restored, which means their suffering will continue until they genuinely transform their consciousness and make amends for what they've done. And even then, some consequences may still need to play out fully. What I also want you to understand, Pisces, is that while Temperance is bringing this difficult rebalancing to them, it's also been quietly working in your favor, restoring to you everything they tried to take, healing the areas where their attacks might have wounded you, blessing you with opportunities and support that counteract any harm they attempted to cause. The universe is meticulous about making sure you're not just protected, but actually elevated beyond where you were before they came after you. The third card in your reading is Strength, And I'm seeing this as a direct reflection of who you've become through this entire ordeal. Strength is card 9 in the major arcana, and it depicts a woman gently but firmly closing the jaws of a lion, representing the mastery of our most primal, aggressive, fear-based instincts through grace, patience, compassion, and inner fortitude, rather than through force or violence. This has been your approach throughout this spiritual attack. You didn't meet their darkness with more darkness. You didn't lower yourself to their level. You didn't engage in the battle they were trying to pull you into. Instead, you went inward. You worked on yourself. You strengthened your spiritual practices. You raised your vibration. You set boundaries, and you trusted that the universe would handle what needed to be handled. That approach, that choice to respond with strength rather than aggression, is what has kept you protected and what has allowed you to grow so tremendously during this time. While they were focused on you, wasting their energy on trying to bring you down, you were focused on your own evolution, and that focus has paid off in ways that are going to become increasingly obvious as time goes on. The Strength card is telling me that you've developed a level of inner power that is unshakable now. These attacks have actually fortified you, made you more resilient, more confident in your ability to weather any storm, more trusting in divine protection and timing. You've learned how to remain calm in chaos, how to maintain your peace even when there's turbulence around you, how to distinguish between what's your energy and what's someone else's projection, and these are skills that will serve you for the rest of your life in every situation you encounter. What I'm also seeing with Strength is that your relationship with your own power has fundamentally changed through this experience. You're no longer afraid of it, no longer dimming it to make others comfortable, no longer second-guessing yourself when your intuition tells you something is off. The lion in the Strength card represents raw power and passion, and the woman's ability to gently close its jaws represents the wisdom to know when to express that power and when to contain it, when to roar, and when to stay silent, when to fight, and when to withdraw. You've mastered that discernment now, Pisces. You know when someone deserves your energy and when they don't. You know when to engage and when to simply remove yourself from the equation and let karma do its work. This card is also speaking to the courage you've shown. Throughout this situation, it takes tremendous courage to not retaliate when you're being attacked, to trust in the unseen forces of justice when you can't see immediate evidence that anything is being done, to keep your heart open and your vibration high when others are trying to pull you down into fear and anger. You've demonstrated that courage consistently, and Strength is here to affirm that your faith and your choices have been correct, that your approach has been the wisest possible response, and that you're being rewarded now with genuine empowerment rather than the false sense of power that comes from engaging in conflict. I'm also picking up that this inner strength you've cultivated is magnetic. It's attracting people who resonate with that energy, who appreciate someone who doesn't need to prove themselves or tear others down, who can see your authentic power and respect it. Your energy field has been completely upgraded through this experience, and that upgrade is going to manifest in every area of your life as better relationships, better opportunities, better circumstances overall. The fourth card is the Wheel of Fortune. And this is one of the most significant cards in the entire tarot because it represents the turning points of fate, the moments when destiny intervenes, when circumstances shift dramatically, when what has been building beneath the surface suddenly becomes visible reality. The Wheel of Fortune is constantly turning, bringing people up and bringing people down, delivering the harvest of whatever seeds have been planted. And right now that wheel has turned decisively against these people who attacked you while simultaneously turning in your favor. What's important to understand about the Wheel of Fortune is that it operates according to cosmic law, not human preference or manipulation. You cannot bribe it, charm it, scheme your way around it, or avoid it through clever tactics. When your time comes on the wheel, whether for fortune or misfortune, it arrives with the full force of universal momentum behind it. And that's exactly what these people are experiencing now. Their time has come for the downward turn, and it's happening with an intensity and speed that's leaving them reeling. I'm seeing that many of them had been on an upward swing before they came after you. Things were going relatively well in their lives. They had stability, success in certain areas, relationships that seemed secure, and perhaps that's part of why they targeted you. Maybe they saw your light growing and felt threatened by it, or maybe they were just bored and looking for drama, or perhaps they truly believed they could steal your blessings for themselves through metaphysical means. Whatever their motivation, the decision to attack you was the exact moment the wheel began turning against them, and what started as small problems and minor setbacks has now escalated into major life upheavals that are dismantling everything they thought was solid. The Wheel of Fortune is also showing me that this isn't just bad luck or unfortunate timing for them. This is karmic debt being collected. This is the universe saying your account is overdrawn and payment is due now. Some of them are losing jobs or facing serious problems in their careers, not because they're suddenly incompetent, but because their energy has become so toxic that they're creating conflict everywhere they go, burning bridges, making enemies, and manifesting obstacles that block their professional progress. Others are experiencing financial problems, unexpected expenses, loss of income streams, investments going bad, and a general sense that money is slipping through their fingers no matter how hard they try to hold on to it. Relationships are another area where the wheel is turning against them. Partnerships are ending, marriages are in crisis, friendships are dissolving, family members are distancing themselves, and they're finding themselves increasingly isolated as people sense the negative energy surrounding them and choose to step away. Health issues are coming up for some of them as well. The physical body always reflects spiritual and emotional imbalance, and the stress and darkness they've been carrying is manifesting as illness, chronic conditions, or just a general sense of being depleted and unwell. The Wheel of Fortune is also about cycles, and what I'm seeing is that they're trapped in a negative cycle right now, where each problem leads to another problem, where their attempts to fix one situation backfire and create two more situations, where they cannot seem to gain any traction or momentum in a positive direction. This is what happens when you work against the universe instead of with it. You find yourself swimming against a current that's far more powerful than you are, exhausting yourself without making any real progress, and eventually being swept away by forces you cannot control. Now, the fifth card is the Queen of Cups, and this is painting such a clear picture of who you are, Pisces, and how you've navigated this entire situation with grace and wisdom. The Queen of Cups is the master of the emotional realm. She understands feelings deeply, both her own and others, but she's not overwhelmed or controlled by emotions. Instead, she has this beautiful balance between openness and protection, between compassion and boundaries, between intuition and discernment. Throughout this spiritual attack, you've embodied these qualities perfectly. You've felt what was happening. You've been aware of the negative energy directed at you. You've processed your own emotions around betrayal and attack, but you haven't let any of that throw you off center or pull you away from your path. The Queen of Cups sits on a throne at the edge of the ocean, meaning she's comfortable with the depths of emotion and the unconscious realm, but she's not drowning in it. She has a stable foundation that allows her to explore those depths without losing herself. That's been you, Pisces. You've done the emotional work. You've felt your feelings. You've processed the hurt and anger and confusion that naturally comes when you realize people are working against you. But you've done all of that while maintaining your equilibrium and your connection to your higher self. The cup that the Queen holds is ornate and covered, representing the sacred nature of emotional wisdom and the importance of protecting your emotional energy from being drained by those who would take advantage of your sensitivity. This card is telling me that your emotional intelligence has been your greatest asset throughout this ordeal. You understood instinctively that engaging directly with these people would only feed the drama and give them the attention and energy they were seeking. So instead you pulled back, you withdrew your presence and your energy, you stopped giving them any emotional reaction or response. And that withdrawal was actually one of the most powerful things you could have done. People who operate from malice malice and jealousy feed on getting a rise out of their targets. They want to see that they've affected you. They want evidence that their attacks are landing. And when you refuse to give them that satisfaction, when you remain calm and unmoved and focused on your own path, it drives them absolutely crazy and actually intensifies the karma they're experiencing because they're putting out all this energy with no return. The Queen of Cups is also deeply intuitive and psychic. She can sense things before they fully manifest in the physical realm. And I'm seeing that your intuitive abilities have been significantly strengthened through this experience. You can now sense when someone has ill intentions towards you, even if they're smiling to your face. You can feel energetic attacks before they fully land and take protective measures. You can read situations and people with remarkable accuracy, and you trust your gut feelings in ways you might not have before. This heightened intuition is going to continue serving you powerfully as you move forward, helping you avoid problematic people and situations before they become serious issues, guiding you toward opportunities and connections that are genuinely beneficial, and keeping you aligned with your highest path. The Queen of Cups is also about emotional healing, and I'm seeing that you've done significant healing work during this time, not just around this specific situation, but around deeper patterns and wounds that this experience brought to the surface. You've healed your relationship with betrayal, with jealousy from others, with your own worthiness and right to shine brightly without apologizing for it. And that healing has freed up tremendous amounts of energy that were previously locked in old pain and limiting beliefs. The sixth and final card in your reading is the Two of Wands, and this is such a powerful card to end on because it's all about vision, planning, potential, and stepping into a leadership role in your own life. The Two of Wands shows a figure standing on a battlement, literally holding the world in one hand while looking out at vast territories and possibilities, having already achieved a certain level of success, but knowing that so much more is available and planning how to claim it. That's where you are right now, Pisces. You've come through this spiritual battle not only intact, but actually more powerful, more clear, more confident, and you're standing at a threshold where incredible expansion is available to you. What I'm seeing with the Two of Wands is that you're being called to think much bigger than you have been, to expand your vision beyond what you previously thought was possible, to release any remaining smallness or playing it safe that might be lingering in your consciousness. The people who attacked you wanted to keep you small, to limit your options, to make you doubt yourself and your abilities, to convince you that you should stay in your lane and not reach for more. But the universe has completely reversed that intention and is now actively pushing you to expand in ways that would have seemed impossible or intimidating before. The Two of Wands is about making bold choices, about being willing to leave familiar territory and explore new landscapes, about trusting yourself enough to take calculated risks that could lead to major rewards. I'm seeing some of you physically traveling or relocating to places that better support your energy and your goals, moving away from toxic environments or stagnant situations into locations that feel more aligned and alive. For others, the travel is more metaphorical, exploring new career paths that actually excite you rather than just paying the bills, diving into creative projects that you've been hesitating to pursue, entering new relationship dynamics that challenge you to grow and show up differently. The Two of Wands is also very much about partnership, but these are completely different kinds of partnerships than what you've experienced with those toxic people. These are collaborations with individuals who genuinely want to see you succeed, who bring real value and positive energy to the table, who match your integrity and your vision. I'm seeing business partnerships forming for some of you, creative collaborations that produce something neither of you could have created alone, romantic relationships that are based on mutual respect and genuine support rather than competition or codependency. The energy of this card is confident and empowered. The figure in the Two of Wands isn't asking permission or waiting for someone to validate their choices. They're making decisions from a place of knowing their own power and trusting their own judgment, and that's the energy you're stepping into now. You've been tested, you've been challenged, you've been attacked, and you've proven to yourself and to the universe that you can handle whatever comes your way with grace and strength. So now the training wheels are coming off, and you're being given access to opportunities and possibilities that require that level of mastery and confidence. What's also significant about the Two of Wands is the theme of dominion and personal sovereignty. You're no longer giving your power away to others or allowing their opinions and actions to determine your path. You're claiming full responsibility for your life and your choices. You're the ruler of your own realm now, and that shift in consciousness is going to attract completely different circumstances and people into your experience. I'm also picking up that some of you are going to step into more visible or leadership roles in your field or community. Your gifts and talents are going to be recognized and requested. You're going to have opportunities to teach, guide, inspire, or lead others. And while that visibility might feel vulnerable, given what you've just been through, the Two of Wands is confirming that you're ready for it and that you'll be protected and supported as you step into that expanded version of yourself. So Pisces, when I look at this entire reading as a cohesive message, what I'm seeing is the complete and total reversal of what these people intended when they started their spiritual war against you. They wanted to diminish you, block you, hurt you, take from you, but instead they've triggered a cosmic response that has devastated them while elevating you to heights you might not have reached otherwise. The Ten of Swords showed their brutal collapse and the betrayal among their own ranks. Temperance revealed the divine rebalancing that's methodically returning all their negative energy back to them. Strength highlighted your inner fortitude and the transformation you've undergone through choosing grace over aggression. Wheel of Fortune demonstrated the major karmic turning that's brought them down while lifting you up. Queen of Cups affirmed your emotional mastery and the intuitive gifts you've developed. And Two of Wands pointed toward the expansive and empowered future that's opening up for you now. The reckoning these people are experiencing isn't finished. Karma is still chasing them. Consequences are still unfolding. New betrayals and problems are still emerging for them, and they're still trapped in that cycle of destruction they created through their decision to attack someone who was under divine protection. Meanwhile, you're free, you're clear, you're protected, you're growing, you're manifesting, and you're about to step into a chapter of your life that's so much richer and more fulfilling than anything you experienced before all this started. Trust completely that the universe has your back, that you don't need to think about these people or what they're going through, because their karma is handling itself perfectly without any input from you, and that your only job now is to focus on the incredible future you're building, to embrace the opportunities that are coming your way, and to step fully into your power without hesitation or apology. You've been refined through fire, and you've emerged as gold. Now it's time to shine at full brightness and claim absolutely everything that's meant for you.